Okay, well, welcome to our pendulum muscle testing and how to tune into your inner guidance system workshop. My name is Elizabeth, as you'll know, and it's nice to have all you ladies here from around the world. So just to kind of do a quick rundown before we get into it, what we're wanting to do today is basically focus on kind of training ourselves on the different types of techniques. So pendulum, a couple types of muscle testing, and using our whole body to ascertain truth and answers. I think, and the reason why I kind of got this idea to do it is because there's so much information flying out around there, you know, and it's the left and the right and the this and the that, and it's kind of like, what do you believe? So, and also it's good for navigating choices for yourself too. So there's some things, like some charts that I sent you guys, or when I sent a last minute chart, because I realized one of the charts I sent you wasn't what I was wanting. So, but those charts I gave you with the dates and stuff are great for a couple different things. You can use them to plan, like say if you have some events coming up, you can go, oh, what year, what month, what day would it be? And you kind of like, whenever we're using pendulums or any kind of muscle testing, we kind of like just open ourselves up and like let go of any agenda, if that makes sense. And we just go, let's just see. So you're kind of opening, what's the best date for this event I want to put on or whatever, or say you're planning a wedding or whatever. And you can use that. And it's quite interesting. I've used it a lot for organizing a lot of different things, and it's very helpful and handy. Because sometimes you'll sit there and you go, oh, what day should I do? And you're thinking logically with your left brain. But if you kind of open up to your right brain, then you're kind of using a bit more, you're accessing more guidance than you would using your left brain. So those are kind of handy. But then even just for yes, no's, and you know, when you have big decisions coming up and you got to figure things out, it's kind of nice to use these things. Now, out of you ladies, who's used a pendulum before? Okay. And who has done muscle testing before? Okay. So we got a bit of that and a bit of that. Okay, cool. So some might be new and some might be repeat.
I think it's an kinesiology one-day course. Yeah, so, but I have never used it like with my clients or anything like that. Yeah, so I kind of know the principles behind it, but it's not something. Whereas the dowsing, I just do yes and no with my pendulum. I don't really know, like the ones that you do with the dates. I've never really done that, and I haven't really used that on a daily basis.
Okay, cool. Okay, that gives me a good idea. Okay, cool. All right, great. So I think what we'll do first is we're just gonna we're doing a little quick meditation, a little prayer, because before I do any kind of divining or asking for guidance, I do a little kind of ask who's going to come join the dinner party, basically, because you know there's a lot of energy out there and you can't just open the door and say, hey, I'm having a party, because you're going to get all sorts. You make a guest list. So I do have a prayer that I use before clients, but I think what we'll do today, I'll just make up a short one. So you can just basically, if you like to, call in whatever you like, whether that's source energy or the universe, and ask for divine protection, divine guidance, support, abundance, and relaxation and fun. Call in any energies that are helpful and that love you unconditionally and would be of an assistance to you today. And we ask that this day and this course and using all these techniques is easy, effective, fun, efficient, effortless, evolutionary, inspirational, and love-filled for all involved. And then what I'll get you to do too, it's really nice and important when you're doing any kind of this work to be nice and grounded. So if you just want to take a couple nice deep breaths and just imagine your tailbone and the bottoms of your feet having beautiful white or some sort of gold energetic cord that goes straight down, down, down to the center of the earth. And just feel yourself connecting in your body, fully connecting to that beautiful source of our Mother Earth. And then as you feel that energy start to rise through your body and your different energy centers, we're just going to ask that any energy that's in our body or energy centers or field that is no longer helpful for our highest good be removed and set to the light. And we ask that this beautiful energy fills our body and our cells, and as we move up pay a little bit of awareness to each chakra. So the root chakra, the solar plexus just below the belly button, our solar plexus, sorry, above the belly button, our heart, throat, third eye. And we'll sit at the heart for a moment and give thanks for its wisdom and the things it's going to help us tune into today. And then we'll stop at the third eye for a moment and just tune into how it feels to sit in that spot just behind your forehead in the center of the brain, or wherever's comfortable for you to focus. Feeling our connection to the ground, our heart, all our chakras, and our third eye. And then moving up to our crown chakra at the top of our head and just feeling that nice and clear and perfectly open, not too closed, just right. So that we're getting that nice connection, and just imagining or asking for a beautiful, clear connection to source energy, God, Goddess, the universe, whatever you want to call that, so that you're getting all that perfect information flowing through your body, down through all your cells and all your energy centers. And again, just clearing anything out that's no longer needed and no longer for your highest good, and bringing in any energies or information that would be really helpful for you today and on your journey forward. Right. So when you're ready, feel free to open your eyes for a moment. And so I think we'll start first with our pendulum. So I don't know if you guys had a pendulum or you made a pendulum, but doesn't really matter. Whatever works. And if you have your little charts in front of you, that can be helpful too.
I couldn't print mine off. Printer won't work, so I'm just going to draw whichever one you tell me.
Sounds good. Okay, sounds good. And the thing too, it's kind of, and you can pretty much draw anything. Like I think I was chatting with Linda yesterday, and we were talking about, you could even do an alphabet one if you wanted to find out, you know, words or names. You just kind of like, what's the first letter? And then you let it just do its thing. What's the second letter? And you just kind of work your way through. Yeah, and with any kind of things like pendulum testing, muscle testing, it's the real good thing is setting up the question so it works for you, if that makes sense. So we'll cover a little bit of that. So basically, we're going to just start from the basics. So if you have your yes/no chart in front of you, you can put that in the table in front of you. Right, and all you could, but what I do is every time I kind of do anything with this, I set it up with two questions. I'll say, first off, and I go real neutral. So like I kind of go in my mind, and then I kind of put my energy very much at the center of my body, and you can hold your pendulum however you like, however long or short, and you just kind of say, show me a yes. So in your mind or out loud, just say, show me a yes. And even though we're using this chart, we're just going to go with what we get for a yes, because it could be different. So some people might get yes going one way, one another way. So we just kind of want to be open to what, but I gave this little platform just in case it's nice for useful. So if you guys is everyone getting a yes or some sort of movement that's consistent?
I'm getting a circle.
Okay, so Linda, that's your yes today. Because every time you go to use a pendulum, I start off with this question, show me a yes, show me a yes. And so Carolyn, what are you getting for your yes?
Getting a circle too.
Okay, so yours is going to be a circle too. So ignore the yes and no on the paper today, ladies. That's just framework. Okay, cool. And then you're going to say, show me a no. Oh, I can't hear you, Monica. You've muted yourself. Oh, did I mute you? Oh, no, I didn't.
But usually I get a circle for yes and no, but this time because I've drawn it, it just went straight to the yes. So.
Well, and you know what? And every time could be different. Like you could get, that's why I always start with show me a yes, show me a no, because you're taking it out of what you expect, and you're asking for, right from the start, you're saying, show me. Right. Show me yes, show me no. So what did you guys get for your no, Carolyn?
I got a
Sideways.
Straight back and forth, kind of like that. Okay. Linda, what'd you get?
Up and down, no.
Okay, so that's your, for today, that's your no. And it could change, ladies, tomorrow if you do this on your own. So it's good to start off with that. So the second question, or second set of questions, you're gonna go, my name, so you're gonna say to it a question you know for both ways. So you're gonna say, my name is, in my case, I'll say, my name's Elizabeth. And then I'm gonna watch the pendulum do its thing. So we'll do that quickly. And are you each getting a yes for that one? Okay, just give a nod when you get your yes. Okay, and then we're going to ask a question that we know is definitely a no. We're going to say, am I a boy? Because we're starting off with, they seem silly, but it's setting up a pattern so that everybody's on the same page. There's no expectation. We all know this is a yes, this is a no. And then we did a quick, easy, simple sample question. Great. And then what I'll get you ladies to do, if you have a couple questions, the personal ones, you can just ask them in your mind. Just take about like 3 minutes and ask a couple questions that you have either about yourself, the earth, but it's like has to end in a yes, no. Does that make sense? Like, should I do this? Da, 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 da. Is this in my highest good? Da, 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 da. Is this the truth of this situation? Da, 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 da. Yeah, and then ask those in your head and do one at a time and take your time. And you can even note, I would recommend noting down what you get. Maybe use the same 4 questions or 5 questions for each of these techniques we're doing and note down your answers. And then you're gonna have a little bit of a grid to see what you're getting and how it feels. So take about 2 or 3 minutes and ask like 2 or 3 questions. I'll be quiet for a minute or two, and I might even just scooch out for a second, and write down your answers beside the questions, and I'll be right back.
Are these questions that we already know the answers to, or we don't know?
No, these are ones you don't know the answers to. Yeah, I would say these are ones, or you might have an inkling, like you might be like, because I got the personal question, would buying this bike at Canadian Tire that I've been looking at be in my highest good? Something like that, and then you go, yes or no. It doesn't have to be big questions. They could be small, or they could be big questions like, is the planet moving forward for its highest good? Or, but be specific, but like, yeah, that makes sense.
Are we best to ask about always about the highest good? Is that the best way to kind of?
Well, I was just putting those in there because it does give a little bit of because it's how you like if you want to share a question with me, if there's one that's not too personal, you want to share a question with me, I'll kind of run it over and see if it's kind of, I can help you phrase it differently. So
I was just watching a program about Bitcoin, because I was talking about investments, and it's quite a good platform, which is quite saying the truth, if you like.
Yes.
So then I'm like, oh, okay, I've got a chance next week to invest in Bitcoin. So my question was, should I invest in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency? But I'm now thinking I should put it like, should investing in Bitcoin be in my highest for the
because the thing is, should I invest in Bitcoin is kind of like very open. But if you say, is investing in Bitcoin in the near future for my highest good, I would do it like that.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then how about you, Carolyn or Lynn? Did you want me to run over a question? I can kind of help you narrow it down a bit. Because you try to be super focused in your question so that and then you can ask another question after that. So then you'd say, Monica, you'd be like, well, I don't know how Bitcoin even works really. If there's like different kind of ways, you'd say, well, say it's a stock or something, which like, not that I would recommend, like, you have to use a lot of different things. We're not going to be bank advisors here, but the thing is but you got to narrow it down and narrow it down and narrow it down, if that makes sense. So Carolyn or Lynn, do you want to share a question that you're thinking of?
Most of mine are about what I'm going to do, what I should do.
Sure. So then you could say something along the lines of, if you had an idea of something, maybe something that you're kind of more excited about than other things, you could say in your head, is this something that would be my highest good to put more of my time and energy into?
What I've written down is, should I pursue the work of Barbara Aerosmith Young? It's very specific. It's a particular person.
Yes. Yeah. Or you could say, is it my highest good to pursue the work of Barbara Aerosmith Young in the near future?
Okay.
or now or in the near future. Yeah, you could say something like that, and that'll really narrow it down. And then you can kind of go, and if it says yes or no, then you go, if it's yes, you go, okay. If it's no, say at a future time. Do you know what I mean? Like you're kind of going back and forth,
Easing out.
probing with different questions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But in a very neutral way, like try not to be too attached, because it's almost like, because we've all probably shuffled some cards and gone, please give me the good card,
Yeah.
But in this one, we're trying to kind of go, let's just see. I'm just going to see what I get. Yeah.
Okay.
Linda, do you want any help with any questions, or are you okay?
Yeah, listening to you with everybody has really helped, so I'm good.
Okay, cool. Okay, great. So do about two or I'll give you another minute or two while I'm quiet, just to do some questions with this one. Oh, and also I forgot to tell you, sometimes you'll get a different thing than those yeses and nos, and that's your maybe.
Oh yeah,
So, but usually the maybe is a circle, but in you ladies' cases, I don't know. You could even ask right now, you could say, show me my maybe.
oh yeah.
So show me what a maybe is today.
Why would we get a maybe?
Because it might be very,
Oh.
like it's kind of might be the answer. Like, do you know what I mean? It might, or if you're not being specific enough, right? If you're not being specific enough in your question, or you might get a, well, maybe. Is it good for, so say Monica goes, is it good for me to invest in Bitcoin? It might be like, maybe, because it's a very big question. It's like, well, should she invest 100,000? Should she invest $10? Should she invest now or in a week from now? Like, kind of like that's why the maybe probably means more specific, more specific, more specific.
Okay.
Yeah. I meant to mention that, so I'm glad I put that. And I didn't know how to do a circle on this, and I'm glad I didn't actually now, because it would have affected your ladies' yeses and noses. Okay.
So I've done a few that are like related to topic, you know, 1 or 2 to one topic and then 3 to the other topic. So if it's a yes, then I can ask again. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go like, oh, well, when? And then you use your year chart. And then you go, what month? What day? Like, if that's appropriate for that question. Yeah. It is good to write down your answers, just to give you, because it makes it more real, if that makes sense, because what we're doing is very energetic, but when you write it down, you can refer to it later and give you a little bit of a timeline. Mm-hmm.
So have we got like Canada, New Zealand, and UK all online?
We do, which is quite nice. We were talking about that just before you joined, and we're like, a little bit international around the world.
Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's nice.
I figured out my maybe.
Okay, good. Good. All right, so that'll give you a little bit of a baseline for as we move forward. So that's the pendulum one. Let's move forward. I just want to say another thing in regards to charts. So I don't know if you had a chance to use any of these charts. It really depends on, like, that's the year one, the month one, and the day one. Now you can make, and the charts I sent you, I didn't like lock them or anything. So if you want to use those charts, if like, say you end up like, say you are an interior decorator and you work with color a lot, I don't know, like you can even change all those color settings to colors. You can do like whatever. It's amazing what you can do, but I always like leave. So for instance, like you can even leave like options, like say I had the number chart to 31, but say you were asking, it wasn't just dates, you were asking for something higher, you can go higher. Or say you can bunch things together. So say you're looking for a time. Let's just use an example. Oh, I want to do a time for this event or this family reunion, let's say. And you're like, oh, what day should we do this time? So instead of going like 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 a.m., go before noon, afternoon. Like put it in chunks, if that makes sense. And then go, then go 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4, 5 o'clock. Okay, great. And some of it, and you'll kind of probably even feel it viscerally in your body when you get the right answer on the pendulum too. Sometimes you'll go, oh, that feels good too. So, and we are going to do a little bit at the end. We're going to do a little experiment at the end once we've kind of covered all these different things. It's going to cover this work, but it's also going to touch on remote viewing, which is interesting. And I am doing a remote viewing free one like this as well. So it'll give you a little taste of both at the same time. I came up with it today. I was like, oh, that'll be fun. So just to give you a heads up on that.
I put my questions down, but we're not going to do it on the dowser at the minute. We're doing them all at the same time, are we? Or was I
Oh no, sorry. You're gonna do them yourself. So I'm gonna give you a couple more minutes.
All right.
To use your pendulum to ask. So yeah, because no worries. Be right. Yeah, you're writing your questions down now.
Write our questions down, and then we were going to do it all together.
Oh, okay. Sorry, no, but yeah, it's okay. Give yourself a minute to do that. If anyone has to go to the loo, I'm going to do that. Maybe that was a good time. I'll be right back.
What if there's no movement?
That's interesting because it could be a couple different things going on there. So like because you're trying to start still and then you're asking for movement. You know what I would do if that was happening? I'd kind of go, I'd take a couple breaths and say, I let go of the need to know the answer, or I let go of. So when you try it again, say, I let go of the need for this answer to be a certain way, and I trust what it brings. Does that make sense? Try that first. That's one thing. And then if not, say, should I ask this question a different way? And then you'll get a yes or a no. And if you still keep getting it very still, put it down and go and kind of maybe give yourself a couple breaths and say, kind of go do another prayer, say I'm safe, and I really want answers. I deserve answers and I deserve to know the truth.
Okay.
You can kind of it's like self-pep talk to your, but sometimes it's, it can be a bit of tension because of course when you're doing this, sometimes you're like, I want it to be a, yes, or I want it to be a no, or you kind of have to and it's tricky because it's almost like you have to fool yourself into thinking, I am a neutral, I'm a reed in the wind, I'm like a hollow reed. You're kind of trying to make yourself like that a little bit, even though they're personal questions, which is so funny. It's almost even easier if you have other people do it for you sometimes too, but at the same time, I think it's really important that we're able to kind of do it.
Okay, I'll give that a try.
Yeah, give that
So
a try.
I tried about my romance for the future, and like it was positive. But then when I because my no was like originally horizontal, and I started to get, it was like where this person's from, when was going, and then it was just doing loads of like what was maybe like, and then I was just like, let me just check what no is again, and then it was. And then no turned from horizontal to like anti-clockwise then. So, which is
Oh,
really,
interesting.
because for me, normally anti-clockwise is no. And like, well, I just make that assumption when I know,
Yes.
you know, yes, no. So then
Yes.
I'm like, what's maybe? And then when maybe became horizontal. And yeah.
Interesting. And I think, and I do think, I think that's kind of our higher self kind of going, don't get too stuck on what yes and no is. Do you know what I mean? Because I've found that over the years, even with when we do muscle testing, you're gonna say, "What's show me a yes, show me a no," and sometimes it'll change. Like you
Right.
said, within the question, almost you're like, really? I'm double checking it. So it's kind of like you're saying, can you pivot?
Yeah.
You know, are you adaptable? You
Yeah.
know, because they don't. Because the thing about this is, it's letting go. I think if the one piece I'd put under pendulum or muscle testing is the letting go
Right.
of the need to, like, you're asking, but you're letting go of what you want the answer to be.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So letting go is like the theme of pendulum work and even muscle testing in some ways. But still, you're still connected. You're still, and the thing is, you don't have to accept anybody's answer, right? Even your own, if you don't want to. But it's giving you a different perspective. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So there's two types of finger pulls that you can do, and I find the finger pulls really handy. Say you're around and there's lots of people around and you're trying to make a choice. Say you're looking at some outfits, you're like, oh, that top's nice. Oh, should I? Yes, no. So there's two types I do. So there's this kind of type I do between the fingers, and it depends. And you can pull loosely, and so you can go, show me a yes, show me a no. So one will stick and one will not. So show me a yes, show me a no. So give that a try. And one might be, and then you say, is my name, like for me, I'm saying, is my name Elizabeth? Am I a boy? And it might feel weird the first couple times you do it, you're like, what's going on? But it's kind of like anything. The more you do it, the easier it is to trust it, if that makes sense. Like riding a bike. Like the first couple times you ride a bike, you're like, this is crazy. And then, but then after the fifth time, as soon as you get it, like you got that muscle memory put in there and those neural pathways, you're good. You don't forget how to ride a bike. Same thing. So that's the first one. And the second one is this one. So you just kind of cross, you say, show me a yes, show me a no. So it might be one or the other for you guys. Show me a yes, it sticks. Show me a no, it goes. And if you do it too hard, it can hurt your fingers too. So it might not be, this one might not be for everybody, but show me a yes, show me a no. And
Yeah.
so then what you can do now is, if you guys want to take a moment, go back to the questions that you did and just do a little repeat, but maybe do another little column and say finger pulls like a goggle, or finger pulls like crossing the fingers, those two. So you guys can do that, give that a little whirl. And if you're doing, say if you're doing, again, you're doing a date, I find I like finger pulls for dates because I find them fast. It's like, you know, let's say oh, when should I have this family reunion? So it'd be in 2020. Okay, what month? January, February, March. Okay, March. Obviously not Canada. So, and then you go, what is first week, second week, third week? Okay, which day in the third week? 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Okay, what time? Before noon, afternoon? Like, do you know what I mean? Like you just kind of click, 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 click. Now, when you're using this kind of stuff, I'll do a little side note. Like, say you're like, anything in the future, like when am I going to meet, like say for instance like a love interest or whatever, like it's kind of, that's going to be a tricky one for the universe to give the exact date, because things shift. If you're meant to meet someone, you are going to meet them. It's just hard to say when. So you can kind of say, could you give me a ballpark, what year, what month, and you might be really good that day and get down to the minute, maybe. I'm not going to say you can't do it, because you could.
Yeah.
But you might not as well. And also, he might have taken the second bus instead of the first bus. I don't know that day. So, but it's like, but at the same time, I would still, if you want to look at something, don't think you can't look at it just because your logical mind goes, oh, well, that's a bit ridiculous. But you're like, well, let's just give it a go anyways. Because it's like, I think we've got to open ourselves up to what's possible. There's a lot more possible than what we've been told from what I can experience. I've had in my life. I'm like, a lot more is possible. And that's kind of, good to use this kind of stuff. Yeah, if that makes sense. So
I've just noticed that I'm finding this a little bit harder because I feel like my agency's involved more, whereas this, like, I'm literally holding it still and it's doing its magic. Do you know what I mean? And I'm thinking,
yes.
and because I know like what I've got already, I know it's a yes and a no. So I'm like, oh, hang on, that's 2 yeses for each month. No, I'm not pulling hard enough, and
yes.
I think had I done it first, it might be, a little easier.
Yeah.
But it's kind of confirmed, and and then also it's new.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You're gonna find out of all these 4, there's gonna be like 1 or 2 you're really gonna go, oh, that's for me.
Right.
But I want you to have the other ones in your pocket.
Yeah.
Just as a kind of, you might find they might be useful at another time in your life, or like you might, how you wear a top for like a couple of years and then you're like, oh, and then you want a new top, oh, this top's my favorite top now. So it's kind of like you might switch, if that makes sense. I found that for myself.
I know, because I have this one dowser that I use at home for lots of things, and I've been away when I've not had it. So I usually have like a gold necklace on, so it can often be found in the loo, like asking, going to the loo.
Oh, yes.
And then the next day I was like, where's my chain? I've taken my chain off, like I've done a dowsing somewhere. But so with this sort of thing, it's really handy because
it's you're in a store, you're like, oh, should I get that red top? Oh no, I want to get that red top. I should get that. Okay, yeah, or whatever. Yes, it's handy. It's like you can do that by your side. Yeah. Or, but like you said, like if you had to go to the bathroom, you could use your necklace, or or your earring or whatever. I don't know, whatever you need. But yeah, necklaces are super handy as a pendulum.
They are actually really good.
Oh, for sure. Cool. Thanks for sharing that. That's a good one. That's a good, and that's what really, when you're really stuck for answers and you're like, I need to know, I need clarity. That's the bathroom can be handy for a lot of things. Okay, cool. I just double check my notes. Yeah, those finger rolls. Okay, then this one I came across. I haven't used this one. There's 2 of these ones as well. There's 2 of these arm ones, I'll call them. One I came across just recently. There's a lovely channeler. His name's Paul Seelig. And he mentioned it, and I thought, because I'm always like to try new things. So one thing he recommended, but I'm going to show you another one. The one that some of you might have been familiar with, like when you go to, say, a naturopath, and they hold your arm out or something, and they're pushing on your arm to muscle test you for, different things that your body may or may not like or need. You can do that with a yes, no. You can. So you can go like, is my name Elizabeth? You always say, show me a yes, show me a no. Is my name Elizabeth? Am I a boy? So you kind of know which one's your yes, no. And again, that could change. So that one's a good one to do. I find that really easy. But the one they showed me, which I thought I'd just show you just for the heck of it, it's different. And some of you might like it. Like, that's why I'm going to show you. I don't particularly like this one, but I thought I'm going to share it anyways because I hadn't heard of it. So he said, you kind of, I got the plant on my arm. But anyways, you hold your arms like this, and you just show me a yes, and it'll feel like it moves, and then show me a no, and it'll feel like it moves one way or the other, or one might be still. And this one, some of you might like it. It's kind of just whatever works. So then you say, is my name Elizabeth? Am I a boy?
Yes.
So I'd like you to experiment with those two, just again, just for giggles. Try the arm one, whatever arm you like, and then the ups and down arms, just to see. So I'll give you a couple minutes to do that. And then the last one, I actually is becoming one of my favorites. The next one has just recently become a favorite of mine. So I'll let you guys know about that in a minute.
What was the first one? What was the first one?
Oh, the first one was just a straight arm, and then pushing down with the other arm. Show me a yes, show me a no.
That is crazy.
Do you like that one?
Well, it's just a really interesting sensation, you know. When I go no, when show me, sorry, show me a yes, I feel like it's being pushed down.
Mm.
And then show me a no, it's more like it's being pushed apart.
Interesting. See, that's what I mean. Like, you always never assume what your yes and no is going to be. Even you go back to the same day or later that day, because you're showing the universe you're open to whatever, however you're going to be led within a safe sphere. That's beautiful. So that sounds like that might be a little bit of a favorite one of yours, or hard to say. It's kind of maybe a bit freaky.
Well, just I think when you're not, you don't know what to expect, what's going to happen. Often that's because you are open, because you're thinking, well, what's going to happen?
Yeah, you're open and letting go. Yeah, of the outcome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you have no.
Good on you. Okay.
Yeah.
But for me, that one didn't work. It didn't move. Like I was like,
And it might, and that's the thing, it might, like, that's why I'm saying, I'm going to show you all the ones I've come across, and then you're going to kind of go, that's my one this week, you know?
This was probably best for me out of all of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, apart from that, yeah, the other one.
Cool. So you guys had a chance to did you have a chance to play with both of those? Or
Yeah.
do you have long time enough for that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carolyn, do you want to go to the next one, or how do you feel? Do you want to need another minute or two?
Oh, I'm good. No, I'm
Okay,
fine.
cool. All right. Well, the next one I quite enjoy. The next one, what I'll get you to do is now. There's a little safety precursor, because we're going to stand up and we're going to be using our whole body like a yes, no, if that makes sense. But I don't want you to fall back if you get dizzy. So make sure if you're doing it, you're either. And you might not be on the camera for this one, but I'll be on the camera. So don't expect yourself. I figured out how to do this so I can show you. So if you ladies stand up, and you can look at the camera for a second. I kind of made it so I could stand up here. What you do is you just kind of stand, maybe feet hip width apart, and you just kind of let yourself, you go, show me a yes, and then see what your body does when you say, show me a yes. But make sure you're standing behind something that's in front of something that's soft if you fall back. And then show me a no.
Oh.
And you can keep your eyes open or closed, whatever you like.
That was distinct.
Yes, this one is my favorite one lately, and I was even teaching my kids it. We're having a blast with it. We're like, okay, what are you going to ask next? And I'm like, don't fall. We'd stand with the bed behind us so we wouldn't. But that one's great because you're using a huge set of muscles. And again, it's whatever works for you. One of these techniques is going to ring true, and this one is becoming one of my favorites at the moment. It's because you really feel it viscerally through your whole body. So take a moment and do those questions or any other questions you want to do. I'll give you ladies a couple more minutes, and I'll kind of watch you to see when you're done. But yeah, have fun with that standing up one, the whole body one.
think I'm done.
All right. So yeah, that one. So it sounds like Linda likes that one a lot. Carolyn and Monica, how do you feel about that one?
I've used that one before, so it's I find it very quick. Body reacts very
And it's
quickly.
very like it's definite. Like there's no like is that a yes or a no? It's like that's a yes and that's a no. Yeah. Monica, how about you?
I liked it. I liked the the speed of it.
Mm.
But I think what's confused me a bit is that I asked the same questions I got with that other one, and one of them was like a different response. So I'm like,
Interesting. Okay.
like,
And that's
because I think going into it, you know, it's like I know the response, I know the previous response, so I was asking some additional ones like about my pension or something.
yes.
You know, but I think might have been too many questions too quickly as well, just to like getting a bit like my
Yeah,
mind.
because we're in a classroom kind of thing, and you're like, oh, okay, oh, there's people waiting, or like that kind of thing. So you do it again at home too, and again, try like I would recommend like try a different time of the day, try it when you're relaxed, when you have a bit more space, and it's nice to do these when you do have a bit of quiet time and like real nice little space around you, but yeah, so cool. And it will happen, right? You'll be like, but I just asked the question and it said a yes, and now it says a no. So it's such as the way of.
I often use that one with like vitamins or medicine or food. Is this good for my body? And get a yes.
Yeah, you totally. It's the same kind of like it's the same thing the naturopath, the homeopath is doing. Yeah, and you can try that, like, and just go, because I've done that in the store before. I'm like, oh, is this a vitamin? Is this a good vitamin? You'd be like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Or you have two. You're like, these two I kind of like. I've heard they're both good. Let me try. Which one is my body? Is this the best one for me out of these two, or is this the best one? And it's kind of like honing that in for that question, because you could also go, is this the best one in the store for me? Kind of thing. But yeah, so that's good. Yeah, that's a good one to do. It's just, these are like handy tools.
Yeah.
Whip them out when you need them, or kind of thing. Okay, and then, so the next one I was thinking of doing, I'd like you to write down, if you have a little bit of space on any of those pieces of papers, I just want you to write down the following colors. So I'll get you to write down, let me know when you're ready, and I'll just dictate some colors to you. Okay, we've got red. Just give it a little bit of space in between all of them. Orange, yellow, green, blue, pink, purple, and white. And so what you're going to do now, we're going to do it's a little kind of like a little fun test, but also a little bit remote view-ish. So we're going to get ladies to use your, like, those 4 different pendulum, muscle testing. Use each of them, and I want you to ask, because right now I'm holding something in my hands, and it's a color, like it's definitely a color of one of those on the list. So if you could just go with your muscle testing, and also though too, when you're doing the muscle testing, after you do the muscle testing, you can just kind of see if, when you're doing it, if you kind of get something in your mind, go with that as well. Like write down all your notes. We're going for all the possibilities. So yeah, start with pendulum if you like, or start with the favorite one you have, and just go, is it red? Is the thing that Elizabeth is currently holding in her hand? So how I would phrase the question is the item that Elizabeth is currently holding in her hand, and then red? Is it orange? Kind of do that. I'm holding it. I'm kind of sending out the color to you ladies. And It might, and even when you get the color, keep asking for all the other colors too, because it might be more than one color. It's hard to say. I'm not saying it is for sure. And again, you're just letting go. You're not caring. It's just a fun game. You're just letting go.
Oh.
Now, how'd that go for you ladies? Or are you quite done, Carolyn? I'll just double check.
Am I done? Yes, with the, yeah.
Okay, how'd that feel? Because I know it was a little bit like, oh, some pressure. And it's kind of, to be honest, like when you're doing pendulum stuff, that's your personal questions, it's going to have a different feeling. This is kind of like, this kind of taking a little bit out of the realm of using muscle testing. It's kind of pushing it to a little bit to remote viewing. But I thought, well, just try it. It just popped in my head, so I thought we'll try it. Does anybody want to, does anybody want to share what they got first, or you just want me to reveal it? And then you can kind of, do you want me to reveal?
I think we should say like what we got.
Yeah.
Well, okay, if you want to, you don't have to.
Oh, yeah, I know. Have you written it?
Okay, purple. What did you get, Monica?
I got purple and I got white.
Okay, Carolyn?
I got purple, but I got green as a maybe, and
Okay.
I got orange. And on white, it went nowhere. It just
stayed. Okay, so I'm going to show you. It's actually hard to see. I wish I'd picked something. It's very light pink purple, but when I was holding it, I'm like, it looks purple against my shirt. So I don't know if you can see, but it's very light. It's like rose quartz. It doesn't translate on them, but it's white and pinkish purple. So you guys all did great, and you all got the white. And then, but you know what? I'm going to tell you about the orange, Carolyn. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if you can see this. And actually, I just realized it when I was holding it in my hand. I'm like, oh, darn it. There's a second color. There's a little bit of a tarnish. I don't know if you can see it. And it's orange.
yeah.
It's like, and I'm like, oh, darn it. But I thought, no, that's good, because it's going to stretch some people. So there's a little squitch of orange. I think it's part of the crystal, or it's something that got on there from my children. I'm not sure.
One thing I didn't do is I didn't actually, as I was going through it, I thought, oh, I didn't check my yes, no, I didn't.
Oh, I see. Well, I think we're pretty good within the context. But you know what? It's good you have that in your mind. But I don't think you have to check it every time. But you could.
What does it mean when it just doesn't go anywhere? I mean, it just would not go anywhere.
Yeah. So Linda had that too. Sometimes it's almost like that's the still point at the beginning, right? Sometimes it could be a couple of things. It could be like, you're done. Do you know what I mean? It could be like, you're done. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe your pendulum said, you got the color already. Do you know what I mean? Could be that. It could be you need to take a little bit of a break. You need to rephrase the question. Could be a couple things, right? So you kind of go, but if it's like, you know, and Linda felt that too once. I was like, it was still and it wasn't doing anything. I'm like, what the heck is that? Like something different, isn't it? That you can't deny.
When I let go of the outcome, like you suggested, just let go and let it be. I let it go. Any expectation, then I got my answer.
Oh, good. And I think, remember, if we can kind of put that let it go, and like, you know, there's actually a song called Let It Go, Let It Go. It's somewhere, it's a kid's song somewhere. If you can put that in the back of your mind, especially if it gets stuck, I'm going to let it go. This is just I'm just going to open up and let it go. Take a breath, try it again. Does that make sense? So you ladies all did great. I know it doesn't translate very well in the color, but it's a pinkish purple.
I did get some maybes, and I was like, it can't be like maybes. It's like,
well, and you know what? When I was holding it, because I was getting these things in my head, I'm like, well, because there's white in there. White has every color, and I'm like, I should have picked something a bit more solid. But I have another one. We're going to do one more time as well, just because we have a little bit of time. So we're going to do one more because this was fun. But yeah, so it's a very light pink purple. So you all got a correct answer that you had no idea how to know because I hid it. I didn't show you. I was very sneaky. But I also sat here and I sent the color to you. So you guys have to give yourself a pat in the back, I think, because you've passed some sort of, you're like, this does work, because you kind of want proof. Like I'm a big fan of, I want proof that what I'm getting is correct. So this is kind of a good little proof. And you can do this with your, whoever your friends. You could say, hey, you could do the exact same things that we're doing in this video with your friends. Exact same thing. Yeah, and I encourage it because it's like practice. So the next thing, we're going to do the colors again. We'll just do this one more time just for the fun of it again. I am holding something new in my hands. And again, I realize there's now 2 colors on it. You think you pick something, you're like, oh, it's just a solid color. You're like, no, it's not. But anyways, I have something in my hands. And there's a color on it that's not on our list. So, and I didn't plan this. I'm like, okay. So what I might get you to do is, if you look at the list, add a couple more colors, or even say, is this an extra color? Is this an extra color? Because there's a color that's missing on the list, but if I tell you what it is, I could give you a couple. Well, they said fill it in. Oh gosh, and there's even more now. I've turned it over and I see something else. This is gonna be an interesting one. I totally grabbed this at random and then I just turned it over. I'm like, oh, okay. You're gonna get way more than one color. Sorry, but I guess this is just, the universe loves a little bit of a joke. So anyways, I'm holding it. You're gonna get a lot of colors for this one, I think. But anyways, so go to it, start on your, whatever favorite one you want or whatever, and have fun with it. And just remind yourself to let go. Just letting go of the answer. Just letting go. Yeah, I totally didn't look at the other side of this when I picked it up. So it's going to be a little bit more colors than I thought. But anyways, should be fun.
Okay.
And one thing you could also put on the chart, if I just popped in my head now, if at the bottom of all those colors, you could put other. So then if it was an other, then it's not the one you have on the list as well. Like there's a lot of colors, but that's another way to open up the possibilities too. Okay. All right, ladies. So do you want to share some of your colors you got, or do you just want me to show you?
I'll give it I had really mixed. I was going back because I don't know if I got red, black, and I got yellow and white. Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. And and ladies, what did you guys get?
I kept getting different ones. So I got orange, I got yellow once and then crossed it out. Then I got green and blue. I think that was more consistent.
Oh,
I got purple and then I crossed that out. I got black. I also got turquoise, but then I sort of gave up because I couldn't get confirmed with the different techniques. They were like, oh man.
Yeah. And for this one, maybe we should have just picked one technique. But it's hey, it's whatever. Well, I was like, maybe they should have just narrowed down to one. But it's good to just give it a practice of all of them, right? Because you're gonna know which one feels better, probably because of this. You might know. And Linda, do you want to share anything?
Yeah, I got a firm no on all the colors you gave me. So I was like, oh, and I wrote down like, okay, I wrote down a bunch of other colors and I kept getting a no. And then I had to look at a color chart to see if I was forgetting a color. So I don't know if I influenced it, but I got brown and I got gold.
Well, I think you ladies are going to be all of you are going to be very pleased with your answers. I'm going to show you what it is. So it's a banana, but the problem was I turned it over and there's a label with green and white and orange and blue and black. And there's of course black. So so Linda, you're saying you've got golden and brown. That's the banana. You ladies also, I know Carolyn and Monica, you both mentioned all these colors. So I don't know, as soon as I picked it up, because I just was like running through the house kind of last minute, honestly, I got this exercise in my head and I'm like, oh, I'll just grab a banana. That's nice and yellow. And honestly, as I picked it up, I turned it off, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all those colors on that sticker. And I thought this is perfect because
I also put other down in it, and that came back as a yes, which is probably the brown because I kind of forgot about the color brown.
Yeah. So other, yeah. So Monica, you had gotten some and you crossed them off. So I think in this case, because this was like a mix, this was like a melange of color. So kind of like maybe write stuff down and don't discount it if that makes sense. Because you did get yellow and you did get black. I think you discount those. So just you got them for a reason, right? So this is a good lesson. This is a good kind of. This is a good one. And then Linda got specific. She got like golden and brown. So but the thing is, that's for her that she needed maybe to go other. She went like way past it because part of her needed to know she could do like, you know what I mean? There might be part of Linda that went, you need to know that you can do this and you can get a little even more specific. Like, maybe art schools in Linda's future. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And so hopefully you ladies saw that you all did a great job on those two little, like, I don't call them tests, but you just kind of want, I call them proofs. You want some proof? I think you guys got some proof that you know you can do it. And honestly, I didn't even I just grabbed them randomly through the house. I'm like, okay, this and this. So I like that the sticker was there. Thank you, universe, because that made it a little more interesting than a slightly ripe banana. Anyway, so I think you ladies did great. We hit the hour. We're a little bit over on the hour, so we kept it to time. I try to keep things on time. So thank you so much for coming out. It's really, honestly, it was so fun. I had a fun time. I hope you guys had a fun time too.
Good.
Yeah,
if you're interested, I've got another remote viewing course coming up next weekend. I think I've sent you guys the information on that. So if you want to check it, it's kind of the same thing. It's going to be about an hour. It's going to be fun. There are a lot more people on the remote viewing course though. Like I think people are really interested in that. So, and it'll, again, it'll be fun. And again, the same thing is like, let the expectation go, just see what happens. Okay, I keep it light and easy. We're just going to do like 3 or 4 little different easy remote viewing techniques. And yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming. And if you feel like making a donation, you can, but you don't have to. It's only if you want to, and you can. But it was just so fun to hang out with you ladies today. So thanks very much. Do you have any questions before we go? Anybody want to ask any questions or comment on something? Or
I just want to say thank you so much. I really enjoyed it, and it's just great to have all these new techniques. You know, I've been using this thing for like, I can't even tell you how long now. It's 15 years, the same thing all the time, not even checking yes and no, thinking I know everything. But actually it's really interesting to get specific, have different techniques, check every time, make sure, you know, like when I'm out, I can use different ways and not, you know, and for me, I got too attached to that really. And so now it's great to free it up again. So thanks so much. I found it really, really valuable.
Good, thank you. And I just want to mention on that one too, like what we're doing is with those questions, like we're setting it up, we're using our left brain, those questions we set up, keep our left brain busy, then it allows our right brain to kind of do let's find that in the field. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I find, like, I know when I did Boy Talk, like having a structure for the left brain to focus on, and then it allows the right to move around it. Kind of like male, female. Male's the structure, female's the that kind of thing. We need that when we're doing this kind of work. You need some structure, but you need room for exploration, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right.
Cool.
I'll practice more.
Pardon me?
I said thank you. I'm gonna practice more.
Yes. Oh yeah. This thing, you can have fun with this and teach it. You can teach it to your friends. You can share the information. You guys can do little things with each other. Like it's limitless, the things you can do with it, but it's just a good personal tool, I think, to have. So, well, thank you so much, ladies. Well, I wish you the best of the rest of your day. I know, Monica, you're probably going to go to sleep soon. It's late there, but have a great one, you guys. And thank you so much for coming. And I'll send you guys the recording then you can download it and keep it if you like. It's up to you. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I'll do that the next day or 2. Okay, all the best.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Good day. Thanks very much. Bye.
My pleasure. Bye. Actually, I'm going to stop the recording first. And then do you want to stop the cloud recording?